So we've got our SCL set up. I'm just going to close out of there. And let's open up our STL to start working in here. First thing we know we want to do is we want to set up our digital outputs. So we've got our oil pump VFD first. Let's go ahead and create some comments in here. And that's going to be digital outputs. We can come down here and we're going to set up our analog outputs. Come down here and we're going to be setting up our analog inputs. Okay, so well-documented code is happy code. So first thing we need to do is we need to set up that Vfd Energize. And remember, it's a little bit weird in STL. So for now, we're just going to set these things as true. So we're just going to S, and let's get our oil pump VFD. Got it. And then we're going to S, and we had our brake output. And then we're going to S, and we had our alarm horn out. Done. And then we're going to S, our station interlock out. Okay, so just like that, our digital outputs are done. They're set. Like I said before, we're going to have to come back to those once we do our HOAs, but for now, that got real easy. Now, we need to do our scaling, so we're going to drag that function in here. And hey, this ought to look really familiar, right? So for our min, our is 0, 27,648 for our output max. And since these are our outputs, we were going from 0 to 100 to start. And let's refer back to ladder to see what the first one was. That was our oil pump and then our baffle. So oil pump VFD percent is going out to oil pump VFD speed out. Very, very simple. And let's copy all of that, Control C, come down here, Control V, and same thing with our baffle. We've got our baffle percent turning into our baffle out, and wouldn't you know it, our analog inputs are next. Let's drag over our SCP, and since these things are coming in, we know it's going to be an input of 0, 27,648 for an input max. And everything else is going to depend on what's being scaled, but I think everything goes from 0 to something. So let's go back and see what that was. Oil temp, and that's 0 to 500. So output max 500. Our input signal is our oil temp in, and we're scaling that to our actual oil temp. Let's copy, Control Z, there we go. Control C for copy, paste another one here, and next it was our oil flow from 0 to 30. So we've got oil flow in, oil flow coming out, and replace that 500 with a 30. Control C to select it, Control V to paste it, and then let's see what our next one was. That was our RPM 0 to 200. So let's start with the output max, and we want RPM in and normal RPM going out. We've got one more of these calls to write in. That's going to be for our current, which is 0 to 700. So set the 700, current in, which means input, and then current. Okay, so when we come in here, we are just going to run straight down this line and do all of this scaling after we set all of these things to true for the time being. And man, that's it.